Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the county council meeting. We'll start the meeting with the pledge to the flag led by Mr. Taylor.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, please.
Mr. Alexander.
Here.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Here.
Ms. Chambers.
Present.
Ms. Lassiter.
Here.
Mr. Mathis.
Present.
Ms. Piper.
Here.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here. Okay, Ms. Smith, the agenda was posted properly?
Yes.
Correct? Call for a motion to approve the agenda as posted.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Jessica. Second by Scott. I'll have to learn how to run a pen, I guess. Roll call.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Here.
Or yes.
Ms. Chambers.
Here, yes.
Either way.
Either way.
Ms. Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Mathis.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Here. Yes.
I can take it.
I thought about that one.
You
I
guys
can't read and
must
speak at the same time.
that's a sign you're destined for Congress.
I'm here and I voted yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm here.
Yes, I'm here. We can start a trend here. Now, I would appreciate a motion for the approval of the minutes for July 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Larry, second by Jessica. Roll call, please.
Ms. Chambers. Ms. Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Matchett.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes. Moving right along, we will start with the financial agenda. Ms. Patterson.
County Commissioners, 386 institutional care, 350,000, total request 350,000.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve so we can discuss it.
Motion to approve by Larry.
Second.
Pardon?
You didn't say
Well, I'm just kind of giving them a little time here. Due to the lack of a second, the motion fails.
I'll second it.
Oh, okay, excuse me. Take those words back. Second by Ms. Chambers. Discussion.
During Finance Committee, this was I think the only thing that was on our agenda that we didn't view as favorable, and I asked them to come back and reduce it for today, if not eliminate it. And I don't think anybody's here from the Commissioner's office.
Was there a representative there, and what did they
Yes.
come up with, alternative ideas or figures at that time, or?
They had indicated that they should be able to come to us today with a reduction. That was gonna be the goal, I guess. And we told them that full council would have to take a look at it and evaluate it today.
They're completely out, or they, or were they at?
Yeah,
Were they at?
they're out, and they've been using other monies to
Moving.
pay institutional care. Yeah, they've been moving other monies and requested this amount to get them through the end of the year.
And this is for housing inmates at other facilities?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll help you out a little bit there. In past history, and probably even into the time Larry was commissioner, institutional care was a line item for detainees who were actually underage and school age, and courts would put them in places like Father Tybalt or something like that, and we had to pay their educational costs. As time passed, that went away, that item, but the line item was continued, and the commissioners chose to use that for transfer detainees.
And usually it's passed, Commissioner, I mean, typically around mid-year, depending on what the budget was and the severity of the issues, the problem of housing them, we would move monies within our budget into this line item to take care of those costs. And that's the reason why I asked. I wasn't sure exactly where they were at, or.
Well, I think we've got the office manager from the commissioners here now, so maybe she can answer those questions.
Yes. I went ahead and took the liberty of printing you all out some information, just for your own knowledge if you wanna go through all these. These are monthly community corrections invoices that have been paid this year. And just to give you some background on that, right at the beginning of this year, we had to pay 2 remaining invoices from last year because we ran out of money. So right off the bat this year took up almost $49,000 of the $200,000 budget for this year. Thank you. Oh, I need to make more for you guys.
That
I was
was
used to making the same amount.
money that was actually due for last year.
Yes,
And
so
then-
we had 2 remaining, and DCC was notified, and they approved us waiting to hold off on 2 remaining invoices from last year. I'm gonna go back and make you all copies. And then this here is just some background knowledge. I spoke about this last week at finance. So I did a background search on out-of-county fees. So what we're talking about right now is DCCC, which is obviously in county. But just in out-of-county fees, over the last 5 years, we've spent over $1 million. And our monthly invoices just for DCC alone eats up more than our allowed budget for a year. So we're dramatically below what's needed to cover everything for a year's worth. I'll make more copies and make sure you get these. So Scott and I talked at finance about coming up with a figure to just kind of get us by for the rest of the year, because obviously we had asked for $350. And when I added up monthly community corrections invoices, including the outstanding one from July, which is $29,000, that's probably our biggest one yet. They're not typically that high. I think we could get by with about $240 or $250 for the rest of the year.
Why do you pay money to community corrections?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What's the invoicing from community corrections, what's that for? Is that
It's for
people
drug
on
screens.
probation?
Yeah, it's for drug screens, which is actually a pretty small portion of it. And it's not all that detailed, but you can see, if you look on the paper that I gave you, it has a full breakdown of where their invoices come from. Which is this page here.
Well, what bothers me, I don't think I've ever actually seen this broken down this way. I appreciate it very much.
Sure.
But, community corrections has got one heck of a budget. Why does the county have to pay them for services?
That's a good question. I know that James and I talked about maybe seeing if John wants to kind of renegotiate our contract with them to kind of readdress some of these line items. But we haven't moved forward with that. And to my understanding, I think as far as out-of-county fees go, that's gonna dramatically increase at the first of the year, so we're gonna run into a bigger problem.
That's what, 55?
That's what I was told, which is a $20 increase per day per inmate.
Do you know what the number of inmates that are out of jail that would be on community corrections? Do you guys know?
I don't.
That's okay.
Mhm.
I know it varies from month to month. We get a report on
Well,
that.
it's on here.
Community
I
corrections.
was gonna
Is it
say-
in there?
53, 59,
Okay.
61,
Well, those are,
but it's
Inmates that-
$14 a day.
yeah, that's inmates that are otherwise would be in jail.
I can pull a Blackford County invoice quickly and tell you what, because they're the biggest one, obviously.
Yeah,
Their monthly invoices are between like 15 and 17.
but even just the community corrections invoices over, isn't the amount that we budget for you 200?
Yeah, we get 200 a year.
Okay, for institutional care?
Yep, and that covers anything of the sort. The only thing it doesn't cover is extradition, which we have a separate line item for that, and that's hardly ever
Have you
used.
transferred money into that already this year?
Oh, yeah, we
From other
ran out
outfit?
of money, I think in May, I had to
In
start
May.
moving money into this account. We've moved over 100,000 into this
So
account
far.
already.
And Ron, this was an agreement that the commissioners made with community corrections to help lessen the population in the jail.
Right.
Well, I understand, but it still is, they're under a state grant that's a little bit flexible compared to what our budgets are. And, that's fine that the commissioners chose to do that, but it looks like to me that this is called community corrections. Why should the local county government have to pay them to do their job? That's kind of the way I look at it. When their job is funded by the state of Indiana. And if you would individually take the time to add the money that comes from the state into comprehensive mental health, the 600,000 that we're gonna be putting out of this county into comprehensive mental health for next year, and the grant for community corrections, that's a tremendous amount of money that's coming into this community that the county council just doesn't have jurisdiction, not intended for us to, but if you're aware of it, you'll see that we, like a lot of other communities, have a social problem, and I'm beginning to be a little concerned that maybe the social needs of these people are not being met in the right way, if there's not a better word. And so therefore, then it puts it on the burden of the county government to incarcerate them, which is, we all understand, probably not the best way to solve their problems. Those that have solvable problems, those that are criminals, that's a different story. But a lot of these folks, from all that I hear, have personal problems. And we have all these agencies taking care of their personal problems, but they don't seem to be making a lot of headway, in my opinion, when the jail keeps filling up. So much for my... Okay, do I have a motion to amend this amount?
I got one more question, Mr. President.
Sure, go ahead.
Does anybody recall what was budgeted for 2018 institutional care?
200, I think.
200? Was that down from, did we cut that?
No,
I'm trying to remember that.
I don't think that was definitely.
So we spent 200 last 2 or 3, okay.
I
That's
think
all
that
I
was,
needed. Thank
yeah, I
you.
think that was the same amount. What I was gonna ask is, right along the line with your question was, did we add to that last year? Do you know?
I don't know without looking, but probably.
Added to make it 200?
No, we had
No,
added to the 200
they probably had
last
to
year.
do
Yeah.
transfers last year in there too.
But
That's
the
what I
transfers, were the transfers enough last year, or did you use edit or any kind of other things? like-
No, we did not use edit last year or any of that. We did do transfers, but then we kind of ate up all of our resources for transfers, so that's why we held off on the final 2 invoices.
There were 2 that they didn't pay last year.
Right, so 49,000 come off
Yeah.
of this budget, so.
Taking 25% almost of.
You know, I gotta remind you guys, it's August. Anything you appropriate from now on, for example, if you give them the 350,000, you're gonna have to cut that in next year's, when we start working on budgets. Because I have to show this as an additional appropriation, and I put 100,000 in there just as, to use a figure, hoping you guys wouldn't, I didn't know about this, or I would have wouldn't have put that on there, but from this point on, any additional appropriations you give out of, county general, bridge, board of health, or reassessment, add that to your cuts.
So last year was 200,000 and then they're asking 250,000 for 2019.
For this year, 200,000 was appropriated. The prior year, 200,000 was appropriated, but by budget time, they still had $110,000 left in 2017. So that shows you that the 2018 budget is not only going up the 100 that they hadn't spent in 17, but the excess they've had to pay this year. And there was about 80,000 or more to community corrections that probably wasn't going out in 2017, so that's, you know, that's a significant amount of money right there. I would suggest we go to half and see what happens.
Has any of that been paid out of edit before?
Not to my knowledge, but that's certainly something, you know, that can be
I don't
talked
believe,
about.
I don't believe I never did. I mean, we always transferred from other accounts and luckily we made it work, but, you know, if moving money's all every day.
Yeah.
I don't think edit would be proper for that myself.
No, but I mean, we made it work in the year.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't use edit. I don't recall.
No, I don't think we ever used it.
They've ever used edit. I've never seen it in the plan.
Because we never had, I mean, there's a line item we could, but at the same time, we always tried to work within the budget.
Yeah.
Because we got 30,000, it's not yet been paid.
We've got 4 months to go.
And what isn't paid, that's just July's invoice, so we have July through December.
Right. July, August.
Yeah.
Well, that's-
6 months to go.
Yeah, that's just community corrections, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's not
that's-
included.
that's not included in Outta County,
Yeah.
Right. Blackford County's invoices range between 15 and 17, sometimes a little lower, a little higher. So they're pretty significant also. And that's the ones that are gonna increase for next year. Because the Outta County daily rate is 35 now, and that's what's going to 55.
Well, I sure hope the commissioners can follow up on that contract with community corrections, because that's new to me, and that's a substantial amount of money that they used to take care of. Now, maybe we increased their load, but it wasn't the county's fault that we increased their load, it was society's problem.
Well, yeah, and this is a new program as of that agreement with the commissioners. This isn't anything that community corrections already was doing,
Yeah.
and now they're getting paid for it. They're taking another 55 inmates or so out of the prison that would be there today, increasing the number from 3 to, you know, if it's 3 today, I don't know what it is today, but if it's 3, it'd be 355. You know where that would put us, so.
And the judge decides whether they have to be monitored or not, is that correct?
Judges make those, yeah, decisions on who's out and who's not.
Or is that right? Anyone else?
Per President's suggestion, I'll make a motion to reduce the requested amount to $175,000.
I'll second.
Okay, I have an amendment to the motion and a second to reduce the amount to $175,000. Chris made the motion, Larry second. Any discussion on the 175?
If we have no more transfers, this will increase the amount that we have to cut by 75, because you already assumed 100 in there, right?
I'm gonna have to double check, but I think I assumed 100. I'm not gonna swear to that.
And that's if we don't appropriate anything else through the end of the year out of general fund.
We're going to, because she's out of utilities. She's gonna have to come back for utilities,
And contractual services.
because she transferred utilities to help pay this stuff. So they're gonna need more money.
So you've already you've transferred money that you will need for utilities?
Mhm.
But I think until we maybe go further, just to have some other accounts we can maybe utilize before we maybe talk more. For example, we still have a significant amount in insurance and workers' comp. And as far as where those were at last year, this time, we're doing okay. So maybe do the 175 for now, and if we need to move forward, we can come back to that.
You raised it to 250 for this next year.
Yes.
Not 100, but 50. Okay, well, please state your name for the record.
Jenny Honeycutt?
Anyone else? Roll call on the amendment.
Ms. Lassiter,
Yes.
Mr. Matchett,
Yes.
Ms. Piper,
Yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Ms. Chambers,
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes. My statement should have been roll call on the motion as amended. Now I vote with, oh, excuse me, thank you, sir. Roll call on the original motion as amended.
Thank you.
Mr. Matchett,
What are we voting on again?
The original motion as amended.
Yes.
Ms. Piper,
This day as amended.
Yes.
Well,
Mr. Alexander,
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe,
I want to say here, but I want to say yes.
Yeah.
Ms. Chambers,
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter,
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
I thought that's what Chris was gonna do, just say here.
And pardon me for this analogy, Larry, but this is kind of like shooting ourselves in the foot here. We've been trying our best not to do any appropriations, and this was the big one.
You know, and on your statement, and I do agree with what you said, is, you know, tackling the problem on the other side. I mean, it's obviously, you read those articles and stuff, but there's also the other side of it too, and with the addiction or not, some of these people have done other things to be in jail besides their addiction. Their addiction might have made a bad decision and got them going in a bad path, but I've been on the law enforcement side, and I've seen the domestic batteries, and I've seen the other things and the things that happen alongside with that. And so people do have to be in jail at some point, some of these people. So it's just unfortunate we have to work around that. And I think that if this jail thing, ever how it progresses, I think we need to look at, you know, funding and talking with commissioners, serious conversation about other employees about extra probation, and see how many more else we can get out of that jail, further reduce that, until we do come up with a solid plan of tackling this. Just housing them in Blackford County or whatnot, if we can let more out on the pretrial probation or whatever with a additional probation officer or whatever, I think at $30,000-$40,000 salary, and then that FICA would be money well spent, especially when it's going to go to $55 per inmate per day next year.
Agreed.
But I guess that's next week's discussion.
Yeah, that's budget time, but Larry, your comments are important because you served as a commissioner in a lot more modern times than I did. Things are a lot different. Like I said, institutional care in my day was for children. Tuition for school, well, it was used for then. We didn't transfer prisoners. I did, just as a point of interest, picked up a newspaper in South Carolina a couple weeks ago, and I shared it with Mr. Royston. I think he might be able to glean out a very good article from those three different ways that these counties went at the situation. And one of them was an overbuild that didn't work because the state decided not to send people to them. So they ended up, I think, with a 450 cell jail that was empty. So it's going to be interesting. I would challenge Mr. Royston to, he's a good writer, he can pull that together a lot better than I can. It's got some good stuff in it, just to show that Delaware County is not that unique. It's a bit of a problem everywhere, it seems. And then on the news this morning, I saw where they raided 4 pharmacies in a town in Tennessee that had given out thousands and thousands of prescriptions in a town of 1,500 people. That was just on the radio this morning on the Fox News. So this is, like I said, a social problem as much as anything else, because our population hasn't doubled. You know, our jails doubled in population, but the population of the community hasn't doubled. Okay, let's move right along.
Mr. Quakerman, you haven't voted on the last.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll
Yeah,
call.
I already did, it just.
Waiting on your vote.
Oh, you're waiting on me, yes. Oh, good.
Assessor sales disclosure, 393 schooling, 4,000, 316 pictometry, 5,000, total request 9,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
Scott, second by Larry. This is not general fund money, favorable from finance, okay? Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Ms. Piper,
Yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter.
Yes. Did we
Mr. Matthew.
find a number that needed to be changed, Gail? That,
Yeah, in their department number that says 215, it's really 218.
right. Yes.
Mr. Matchell.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes.
Jane, did you clear up that, Jane? Did you
Yeah.
clear up that typo in there too while you were at it?
That's me. Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, that's right, the shuling.
Yeah.
Oh,
Little mess up on keys there.
We corrected it in the finance committee, but,
I should have caught that.
Community corrections supplies, 212, $2,688. 304 monitoring clients, $16,789. 311 contractual, $2,500. 393 training and travel, $7,699.20. Total request $29,646.20.
move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Scott, second by Jessica. Comments, questions? Was this thoroughly discussed at finance?
I don't know about thoroughly, but it was discussed. Yeah, this is community corrections. I don't remember the discussion. If you've got a question about it, ask it.
We need your name and,
Hi, I'm Jane Miranda. I'm the interim director at Community Corrections.
okay, thank you. Why such a large amount of additional travel and training?
This is our JDAI grant. That is grant money that has been deposited. It's through Dave Dickerson and the YOC. It's a juvenile grant.
Okay, so that's just part of the grant.
Yes.
That's for mileage mostly?
Hi, Elizabeth Back, Financial Manager at DCCC. Yes, it is for mileage and any like conference meetings that they have, he supplies refreshments or something like that, so.
Sneaked down on me, didn't you? I called up the other day and they said, she doesn't work here anymore. Congratulations, I hope.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Matchett.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ineligible homestead, 310 contractual services, 23,000. 442 furniture and equipment, 12,500. Total request 35,500.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Boy, I got you scared there, Steve. Motion by Chris, second by, did I?
Larry.
Mary. this is for your rearrangement program?
Well, some of it is from, we've had 2 computers quit, we've had to replace. We had a third one yesterday go down. I talked with Jim Blue, he told us that the auditor was the first one to actually change computers, and it's been 7 or 8 years ago, and that's what Gail and I were discussing this morning, the things that we run through this computer, we can't afford the finance system to go down for the county, and it's that each computer is starting to quit, so it's time to replace them. And so the majority of that is to replace the computers in the office, and then we get 3 new desks for the back room. And we're taking the desk out of the back room and putting them in the flat room.
And the computers. Gotcha. Roll call.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Matchett.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes. Moving on to transfers.
Clerk, 118 minus 14,739.40. A 118 plus 14,739.40. A 125 minus 8,971.49. B 125 plus 8,971.49. Total request 0.
Move to approve.
Second.
By Jessica, second by Larry. Discussion. Roll call.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Matchett.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes.
EMS 441 ambulance minus 35,397 billings plus 35,000. Total request 0.
Move to approve?
Second.
By Scott, second by Jessica. Questions? Roll call.
Just before you go, I don't know whether you guys are aware of it or not, but this is the used ambulance they purchased from another community, and it's
Put the money back, right?
yeah, putting the money back, but they've got it in use right now. It's been changed over to Delaware County, and they said it's the deal of the century.
I'm gonna do that.
We may not see another one of these.
You only get one.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's $160,000 ambulance for about 50 grand by the time they got it all together. And it only had 35,000 miles on it, just broken in. Probably still under warranty. Roll call.
Ms.
please.
Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Matchett.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes.
Jail 195 training minus 20,000, 197 overtime plus 20,000. Total request 0.
Move to approve?
Second.
Moved by Scott, second by Jessica. Any questions, comments? You're getting all easy today. Roll call.
Mr. Matchett.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes.
Thank you.
Communication Center 129 OIC plus $991. D 125, I don't know what that is, minus $991. 195 holiday plus $6,494. A 126 communication tech minus $2,494. 367 minus 4,000. A 126 minus 13,220.52. B 126 plus 13,220.52. 196 overtime plus $7,676.76. E 108 minus $66.08. 113 minus $1,321.96. E109 minus $660.96, A115 minus $627.76, 198 part-time minus $5,000, total request 0.
There's a second one also, Donna, if you want to do them both at the same time. He presented to us this morning.
Oh.
Here. Yep.
It's a transfer also on an employee.
Okay, C121 minus, C121 minus 8,791.08, D121 plus 8,791.08.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Chris, second by Mary.
That last one that she read, that was the one that you were talking about, that you were gonna get to the auditor's office, right? Okay.
She quit, that employee quit yesterday noon, and she has a payout, and that spot will be available, I believe September 10th. So I have to advertise it, so that's gonna fit in my time frame. But as short as I am, as much overtime as we're burning through, I didn't wanna wait another month.
So that your test was successful then? You were waiting on one?
Depends on whose side.
She left before the results came back.
Okay, all right.
Now I have a technicality here. You're gonna pay that person out till the 10th of September. Will that C figure go down?
No, I think she figured it with that payout.
Okay. Okay, very good. So actually, the balance is higher than that right now.
Yes.
On September the 10th. it'll be
Yes.
that. Okay.
Get you to the end of the year.
Super.
On overtime, you think? Go on.
I have no idea at this point.
Okay, to start.
We're so short with people leaving, either by their choice or not. I've had a couple that haven't worked out well and moved them on. We get people in that are training in part-time jobs, and then like Wayne County has openings right now, and they see that full-time job elsewhere and they move on. So actually, the one that I'm looking to bring in to fill this last one, she's a dispatcher in Randolph County, so we're gonna be stealing money, like people are stealing from us, but she is trained. And then the one that's available today, if this is approved, he's experienced, and I brought him on part-time already, and he's up to speed, and he'll be up to be able to step in with just a matter of a week or so to help with the overtime crunch. I've adjusted days off. I've had to move people from shift to shift. Everybody sees it, and they're trying to do the best they can, with not taking days off. But our people still have to have their time off and vacations and such. And some of the overtime is just nature of the business.
Oh, I'm gonna say something here. I heard a interview on the road this morning. Jim Brown, the famous football player. It was a pretty lengthy interview, probably the best I've ever heard about his efforts to work as a community leader. And one of his statements was, and he used the analogy of the audience at a football game that enabled the players to be paid high salaries as the positive side of this meal stuff, But he also made the comment that, and I think we all should look to this direction, is we should always look at things from the positive point of view. And from all the looks of all the transfers and things that you've had going on since you hit the door over there, it would look like, man, I don't know about this guy. But I look at it from a point of view that I think this man is doing his job, and I want to compliment you on that.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. There's days I feel like I'm failing with all the turnover and all the overtime we spend, but, you know,
But it's quite a comfort to know that when someone calls in 911, that we've got a leader over there that's looking after us. That's important to us.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter?
Yes.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
Thank you.
Lit Public Safety Prosecutor, 173 insurance minus 1,300, 199 longevity plus 1,300, 173 insurance minus 2,000, 199 longevity plus 2,000, 173 insurance minus $1,097, A106 investigator plus $1,097, total request 0.
Move to approve.
Second?
By Jessica, second by Scott. Was there an explanation for this? I missed finance, so I'm sorry.
For which
Well,
part, Ron? The whole
we talked
thing?
about
The
it.
Lowit thingy, what this is all about?
Well, because we put 2 people in positions in a Lowit budget that were already existing employees and had longevity in their line. And those people, not only that, but they also have longevity coming at the end of the year. So we don't run out of money at the end of the year, but we can have it in there anyway. So Donna made sure that I knew that so that we could get that in there, so when it comes due to be paid out in November or December. And then the investigator, that's in the grant position, and somebody left and we put somebody in there. And so I moved money to cover her line until the end of the year. But I had extra money in the insurance already in that budget.
Well, sure, I agree with
It's
what you
not-
did on that last item. I thought we were supposed to use that salary. We weren't supposed to supplement it, but it's in the grant, right?
I mean, she's not giving the person a raise, it's just they replaced the person before the other person was paid out.
That's what I meant.
Right. Oh, okay.
We kinda had the policy that they have to pay them out before we hire a new person.
Well, but if
I mean,
I
that's
do
what
that,
Paul
I'm
just
losing
said
the
he was
grant
doing.
money. If I do that, I'm losing grant money.
Yeah,
We
this
don't
is a
get that
grant. This, I'm sorry, it says Lowit.
in. But they're paid out of Lowit because it's a reimbursable grant. I have to pay them out and then we get reimbursed.
We gotta do it and then get it back. Okay. Fair enough.
And she does get the reimbursement.
Okay, answers my question. Thank you. Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter?
Yes.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
All done?
Yep.
All right. Motion to approve financial transfers and to amend the salary ordinance with like reductions.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter?
Yes.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes. Moving on to committee reports. Don't believe we have any tax abatements, appointments. We have anything for personnel. Human resources, or whatever you want to call yourself. Mr. Spangler.
Good morning, Rick Spangler, Director of Human Resources. What I have laid on your desk is a change in a job description. This would be for the Executive Director of Delaware County Community Corrections. This was in the works prior to our director leaving, and I was asked by the board to go ahead and present this change. What I've got on the first page is the existing job description. The second piece I had handed out to you is the change description, and I just included in it the job advertisement that we have out there right now, showing that we are advertising this job with this change included. The only change in this job description is at the very end of qualifications, where it says that the successful applicant must be a probation officer, and they must have a certification from the Indiana Judicial Conference confirming that. So other than that, it stays the same. I believe that when the previous director's salary was increased, this was part of the reason for that increase, and so that's why they wanted to change it to keep it, where it will take a probation officer to fill this position.
Does this mean that this job salary would follow the state directive on annual increases for probation officers?
Yes, it would. It would. So.
Automatic?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
yeah,
because that was
part of that.
Part of the problem,
right?
Yeah. With the former director. Okay. Does anyone have a question or problem of approving this new job description? It's the one that doesn't have an effective date on it.
I move to approve.
Moved by Larry. Second.
Second.
Chris. Any other comments?
Yeah, the current requirements for the job that you guys posted, were they posted on the old? I thought we had to post those on the old requirements.
Lost me.
Prior to this change, I guess that last part would, if that's the only change, that would have been left out on the application or the job posting.
No, it's on the job posting.
It's on the job
Yeah,
posting.
yeah.
Okay.
They told me, Dr. Brown told me to go ahead and include it in the job posting. So that's what the second page is. If you look down there, that is a copy of what we have posted right now. So it does have that new requirement in it.
Okay.
So it won't affect any of the applications that we're getting for this position.
We had two issues here, just to kind of clarify things. At last month's meeting, we discussed a amendment to the part-time salary ordinance for an individual they were wanting to hire with higher credentials. And when I was working with Denise Smith in the auditor's office on the agenda, I called Mr. Spangler and we were working on that, and he brought up the fact that we needed to work on this other job description, so I put that on the agenda also. Then I got a call from Mr. Spangler that the first one was withdrawn, so we withdrew it. And then I had a discussion with Scott and Rick and decided that this one should stay on. And so the timing of it is such that most of the council wasn't really aware of this until the agenda came out. So that's why I want to make sure everybody was up to speed on it. And I wasn't till the middle of last week myself. I was working on the agenda last Wednesday.
Yeah, my understanding of the discussions we had in community corrections was the job was posted without the new thing, and it had to be posted that way because this wasn't approved.
They went ahead and put it into the job.
Okay, so it's already, and my thought was, is if that was the case, if we've already had to post it the way that we did before, why don't we wait till the new director gets hired before we go ahead with this? But I think now if it's already been posted that way, then we probably can go ahead and approve it, so.
Well, there's a lot of cooperation here in a short period of time, because I know I've talked to Rick at least 3 times, and Scott 2 or 3, and Denise a couple or 3, and it all worked out, so.
Things happen really quickly.
Yeah, it all happened
Yeah,
quickly,
and
and the
had to.
director quit.
And had to, yeah.
So I just thank everybody for their cooperation in getting this put together, and I guess this Dr. Brown has been very attentive to the situation. And my brief understanding is that the courts are kind of letting Dr. Brown be the leader of the board. Is that correct?
He's the president of the board.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's the president of Community Corrections right now.
Well, I just am learning here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Ms. Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Matchett.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes.
Thank you. One other thing while I'm up here, while going through this one and correcting it, it came to my attention that the job description for community corrections have not been approved by the council, or at least not any that I can find. There are several that they've had. There are some that were in my computer from back in 2009, but they've kind of been rewritten and changed. So what I'd like to do, and I think you guys will want to go forward with that, is once we have a director, I think we should go through all of their job descriptions, get them rewritten, and get them approved by council.
Sounds good to me. Appreciate
Well,
it.
we're supposed to do with it.
Appreciate you getting a hold of that. Okay, now then, we're ready. Donna, you had a discussion, recommendation of a motion on maximum levies for tax caps for all units.
Yeah, it's the same thing we did last August. I sent all the tax caps and max levies to you guys last month for your review. You have to make a, in the minutes, the council has to state that they've reviewed the max levy limits and tax cap impact reports and either have no recommendations, which is what you did last year. It's kind of like, you know, in the old days when we did the, I can't even think what those things were called. We had to call them people in all the time and you just send them on to the state. Well, now.
The non-binding.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
non-binding reviews. So now, starting last year, in your August council meeting, you have to state that in the minutes, and then I have to send a copy of the minutes to all the taxing units, just notifying them that you made no recommendation, unless you have a recommendation. But last year, you just made the, I don't even really know if you have to make a motion. It just has to, I know, it just has to be stated in the minutes that you have no recommendations.
In the past, prior to last year, did we not ask them to reduce their budgets?
Very, very rarely.
I was thinking that we went.
You might have, like, because I would, you know, maybe call, like, I know one year you guys called into town, you looked town for discussion, and then usually you just made no recommendation and let the state.
Yeah, I remember
Because
one
if they're
year.
not over their maximum levies, the state's gonna approve it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kinda,
Anybody that was over,
if you're over your max levy, the
Yeah.
state's gonna cut it. If you're not, they're gonna approve it.
I think anybody that was over by 5%, we had come in, and then we asked them why their budget was over 5%, and they told us that's what DLGF told them to do was
Advertise a higher.
advertise for the highest amount.
And there have been years where you guys have cut some of those when we were doing the non-binding reviews, but not a whole lot. But you have.
Well, we had a question with Yorktown when they had that consolidation.
Yeah. And every year you guys did make a cut, and the state just put it back if they were under their max levy, so. I never did see the purpose of that. I really don't see the purpose of this, but it's statute, so.
Yeah, there were several schools I know we called in one year, and they had kind of, that was, seemed to be the theme, was that they were told by DLGF or asked for their, at least their maximum levy.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to have discussions with the future superintendent of public construction over that. Because she was the superintendent of Yorktown then.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She didn't like my questioning that
Yeah.
budget.
Right enough.
Well, I sent her a nice letter back and told her we had a job to do just like she did. So we probably should make this a form of a motion, right? A motion to make no recommendation on tax cap levies,
Maximum levies
maximum levy,
and the property tax cap.
and the property tax cap. And that's the thing that's in this sheet here of estimated property tax cap impact.
Mhm. That's one report I sent, and the other one was the thicker one, which was the maximum levies of all the taxing
Can't
units.
find that darn thing, I know, I've seen it. Yeah, just of interest, the very first one, the city of Muncie's cut, we'll call it, it's a tax cap impact, $6,477,090.
No, that's Delaware County.
Oh,
what
that's
the
Delaware
city-
County, excuse me, I'm
That's the
sorry.
counties.
I said in reading too, where's the city? I have the cities. Well, anyway, that's the county, I'm sorry. Civil City is 16,908,885. I can't find that other one, I was mixing this up. Can't find that other report. I don't know what it is. Okay. So we have a motion, do I hear a motion? So moved. Larry, second.
Second.
Jessica. This is to no recommendation for maximum levy and tax caps. Roll call.
Ms. Lassiter.
Yes.
Mr. Matchett.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush.
Yes. Okay, any comments from the audience this morning? Okay, President's remarks. I know there's been days when I've made too many remarks. Today I have a handout for my fellow council members. 2 handouts. How many do we need to have that way? 4? There's 4. And down that direction. These are for your information, the pie graphs. They show you the income that we deal with and the expenditures based on departments. I thought you might like to have those for budget time, or whatever else might interest you. I'll take the leftovers. Go ahead. Other than that,
I think one thing we neglected to mention today was John McCain, and I think if we would all govern the way John McCain did, I think we would have a better government. Even with these sharp elbows.
yeah, I think you're right. Okay. Sometimes it takes those that speak up to get the rest of us to speak. Anyone else?
Donna, that I handed you, is that of any, I got that on my computer and I printed it off not realizing it was a book. Did anybody else get anything from Purdue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing as what you just gave her.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have those other sheets, Donna?
I printed it out, but I didn't know how many pages it was before I hit print.
Donna,
Hmm?
did you have these?
Oh, yeah.
Donna sent us, proposed budget breakdowns, and, mine didn't fully print out, as you can see on my computer. So she printed the long sheet in case anybody else is not aware of mine. She did that for us. That's for budget time also.
Yeah.
My little copy machine doesn't like long paper. Anyone else?
Hey, Ron, you may want to talk about the times for budget hearings next week that you want to start on.
Well, we've scheduled 2 days, September the 5th, starting at 8:30 a.m. And then on do we have 2 pages? On the back side. Oh, it's on the back, excuse me. Till 6:15. And that will be the last hearing.
What time did you want to start on the next day?
Well, it's according to how well we get along on the first day, I guess. I have no preference myself, but I would suggest we start earlier in the morning.
Well, I get up at 5, Ron, whenever you wanna go.
Yeah.
Ride your bike, I'm not a morning person.
You
do
ride your
not
bike,
want me
get
here
there.
early.
Usually we just start the next morning at 8:30 and go until we're ready to let it go to the auditor for reconciliation, and if that's all right with everybody.
Yep.
It may not take all day Thursday, I wouldn't think it would.
And sometimes we have some callbacks.
So you can make your plans accordingly. But I would, we've always kind of given the Friday to the auditors, and then when we reconvene, will kind of be at the discretion of the council. We have to be ready for final on September the 25th, no matter what. Any other comments? I know Chris is usually kind of busy on Monday morning, so it might be better for him if we didn't meet on Monday morning. And if everything looks good from the auditor's point of view, I'll kind of use my own discretion, I guess, if we need to get back together, we'll just recess. Therefore, we can come off a recess without any formal advertisement. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let the ladies in the auditor's office kind of guide me so I know what to tell you. So we'll meet on Wednesday all day, and we'll probably meet Thursday morning at 8:30. I'm pretty sure we will. Okay?
I attended a meeting last night at Farm Bureau, and Mark, you know what, I was struggling with your name, Mark Carter, and I should know that because I knew a Mark Carter. Mark gave a demonstration on drones, and it was so interesting. Way above most of our heads, but it was very interesting.
Literally above our heads.
Literally, yes, you're right.
And being one that read the book and watched the movie, it just makes me think George Orwell was right. things flying around looking at you instead of a mirror. Okay, well, I'm not gonna call for a roll call, just all those in favor of adjourn,